Hello, hello, ni hao, privyet. What's up, what's good? Welcome to the Any Given Runway show. I'm your host, Randall Carlton Green. Any Given Runway celebrates the exploration of new cultures by highlighting some of the most dynamic, artistic, athletic people in the world. Everyone has a story, each person a scholar. We have a tremendously fun show for today with a wonderfully charming guest, one of my favorite athletes to have chatted with this year. Serbian Olympic shooter Zorana Arunovic is our guest. Zorana is currently ranked number 1 in the world on the ISSF ranking list in the air pistol and second in sport pistol. In 2013, she won her 5th consecutive national championship title. She won gold at the 2010 and 2014 World Championships and has 8 golds at the European Championships and has participated in 2 separate Summer Olympics. Going down her resume of accomplishments is incredible. So many medals that she's won between the World Championship, European Games, European Championships, and the Mediterranean Games. Today's episode is awesome because Zorana gives us lots of information about her sport. For instance, she chats about the differences between the 25 meter and the 10 meter, and also the physical challenges that come with standing and aiming at a target for hours on end. Finally, Zorana gives us some recommendations on food in Serbia, and let me tell you, Serbian food, fantastic. Zorana gives us some recommendations on Serbian food and Serbian wine. Loved my conversation with Zorana. Excited for you guys to meet her. So let's go ahead and bring on Serbian Olympian and wine connoisseur, Zorana Arunovic, and let's learn. I read that you began shooting because of your older sister. So what do you remember about those early years?
Well, just so you know, my older sister is my coach. So it's
how long has she been your coach?
Unofficially since 2008, officially since 2010. So it's 10 years officially that we're working together. She's also national team coach, and like she's my superstar. Yeah. So what were those early days like when she just started shooting and you were just getting introduced to the sport? Yeah, well, she started shooting like 6 years before me, so it was just me like being a younger sister, always looking at my older sister going for not for holidays, but for competitions. You know, we were connected, but I think that when our father passed away in 2000, we got even more connected, and basically, I think that was the event that like pushed me even more to her. And as any other younger sister, I started following her footsteps and doing whatever she was doing. So we were in order to spend some more time with her and just to have some fun with her. I started going with her on the range, just sitting there and watching her shoot, you know, and there were like a lot of kids of my own age, so like I had some new friends, and it was fun. You know, it was all fun at the beginning. And then one of her coaches he gave me the gun and said, "Why don't you try? You know, like let me see how you would do that." So I started shooting, and basically the first time he gave me the small air pistol in my hands, that was actually my first training. It was October 31st, 2001. I remember, like, I celebrate every single year. I celebrate that day as my mini birthday. It's the birthday of my career. So yeah, it was like that, you know, and I think that very shortly after, like maybe 2 years, maybe even less than 2 years, I became part of the national team. And in 2004, I won my first major medal. And ever since then, we were shooting together. And our biggest achievement when we were both competing together for the national team of Serbia is a silver medal in World Championships. Like, we are both world vice champions. And I can say that was one of the highlights of our careers as athletes. But in the career where she was my coach and I was her athlete, we had like really, really crazy and successful road.
Incredible. It's so remarkable to hear that your careers have aligned together now that she's your coach. What do you feel is the strength of having your sister, someone who knows you very well, as your coach? Because I know that she's going to know more about you than the traditional coach. So what's some of the strengths of that?
You know, there is this very important component that you can know a person, like when you spend a lot of time with someone, you know, when you spend a lot of time with your coach, you develop a huge amount of trust. But when your coach is someone from your family, there is this trust that it's already built, like you have this trust, and it's like you're just building up more and more. And there's this always this one thing that I always know, that whatever happens, we are both working in the same direction. Like, I want what's best for us, she wants what's best for us, she just wants us to move forward, both of us. You know, there is always this possibility that when things are not going the way they should be, or when things get hard, there are people who are like, yeah, this is too hard, I'm just gonna give up, and I can always take someone else to coach, you know. But I don't have that.
Yeah.
And as well as I know that she's going to be there for me, and she's going to be there to take care of me in this sports section, and to basically do whatever she can for both of us to improve, she can expect the same thing from me. You know, we're both the type of people that don't really back off easily and don't give up easily. So that's like the plus side for both of us. And it's very good to have someone that knows you so well. You know, sometimes you don't even have to say that there is something bothering you, or it's such a horrible period of time. You know, you don't have to explain. You just say, hey, you know what? It's been stressful. You know, I'm stressed out. You know that. And she's like, yeah, I can see by your face. I can see by your behavior. Let's just take a little step back, and we're going to work it out. So yeah, I'm very happy. I think that she's there for me.
I think that's a great point about trust. And also, like you said, just there at the end, that there's that unseen communication where you don't need to be like, hey, is something bothering you today? Like she knew that. I think that's incredibly valuable, and that's awesome.
And also I can snap at her, and she can snap at me, you know, whenever she wants to, whenever she's stressed out. And, you know, we're not going to be like, oh, shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be better than, no, like, I know you.
You do it, and then you move on. You do it, and you move on.
It's fine.
Awesome. I think that's incredible. That's so wonderful that you guys have that bond. So you're currently ranked #1 in the world by the ISSF in air pistol. Being on top of the world like that requires a tremendous amount of practice. So what's an average training day like for you?
With ideal situation is 2 trainings per day. Usually 3 to 3.5 hours per training, with a small break in between and a rehab afterwards. That's it. Like, every single day is the same. You get up, you have breakfast, you go and have training, and you just give your best, just to try to be slightly better than you were yesterday. And hopefully that's going to be enough in overall, like, to make a progress.
Physically, what's the most demanding? What's challenging? Or are there certain parts that are sore afterwards, or certain things that you need to focus on physically?
Back. And for pistol shooters, we always have problems with elbows and shoulders. And it's because we are using only one hand. And it's not like in movies, you know, where you have FBI or CIA agents like with 2 hands. No, it's so completely different from that. Like, people really, you know, they think that we're like GI Joes and going there, running around the desert, shooting, I don't know what. But basically, we're just very, very steady.
Yeah.
Shooting on the sideways, just using one hand. So basically, when you have 3.5 hours of training where you're lifting your pistol, that's like 1.2 kilos. When you lift it for at least 150 times and hold it for 30 seconds, in the end it piles up, you know, and it becomes really demanding for shoulder, for elbow. And, you know, for an average person, like, everyone can do this, like, just to hold it, you know, but when you have to hold it very steadily and to be extremely precise, it can be difficult. So in the days, usually 3 to 4 times per week, I have 2 hours gym session somewhere in between, or I just reduce the training duration so I can squeeze in 2 hours of gym. So yeah, you have to work on that. But basically, I think that most of us who are pistol shooters, most of us has elbow problems. When it comes to rifle, they are struggling with lower back and neck. If you take a look and see the position of a rifle shooter and the way their neck is curved, it's really horrible sometimes.
Yeah.
Even when you just see it, but I cannot even imagine standing in that position for hours and just shooting.
Yeah, and that's why I asked, because I was wondering what was different about it. Now, how about, because of that, you got one arm up, so you got to keep this one strong.
Yep.
For your non-shooting hand, your arm, you might become uneven. You might become unbalanced with that.
Yeah,
so how much attention do you give? Because you don't want to walk around the rest of your life having one arm,
Yeah.
huge and the other one not. So how do you incorporate that?
But now when I'm looking, there is a difference. I keep talking to my sister and say, there is a slight difference between my two hands, but
you'll be tilted as you walk by. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, but jokes aside, I'm working out on both of my arms like identically. So yeah, like you have to pay attention to both of your arms, of course.
Yeah. You've appeared at 2 separate Olympics. So what are some of your favorite memories from each of those games?
Well, you know what? I've been to really many competitions, but I think that nothing can compare to the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere there, it's just like any other competition, but it's nothing like any other competition. The atmosphere where you have 10,000 of world's best athletes, and we're all living in the same space in like a bunch of buildings that are secured everywhere. Like no one can get from the side, like no one can get in. You are all in one safe space, eating together, walking around together, just training together in the gym. Like you can have the world's top athletes in tennis, volleyball, basketball, and they are like running on treadmill right next to me, and I'm like, like this is so much fun, But like this idea that you're living with for like, even if it's only for 15 days or so, you're living with 10,000 of elite athletes, and you're all competing for that one medal, and you always come to Olympic Games few days before, and you can feel the atmosphere changing from day to day, and like you can feel the electricity in the air when the competitions are about to start, and all that expectation and all that energy, like you can feel that. And that's one of the best things about the Olympics. It's scary. I can tell you, it can be super scary from time to time. But on the other hand, it can be so good. Like I don't think I have ever felt anything like that in any other competition. And then you have you can watch all kinds of sport. Look, you can experience roller coaster of emotions, like such a spectrum of emotions there.
I had another guest, an Olympian, who's also a shooter, and he said, we're all stars. We're some of the top 10,000 best athletes in the world. We're stars. However, there are superstars within us. And he was saying some of the tennis players. So for you, who were the people that you were like, oh my goodness, that's so-and-so? Who were the ones that excited you the most?
In Rio Olympics, I did not have so much time to walk, but I remember this situation where we have just landed, we came to the village. We have been traveling for hours, I think more than 12, 15 hours or so. So my two friends and myself, we just put our things in the room. I don't even think that we had a shower, and we went to a restaurant. So we took food, and we sat at a table. There were some people next to us, but we sat and we started communicating like we did not see anything. We were so tired. And you see there are like people gathering around you, and they are just like walking past you, and they're just stopping and pointing fingers. And then I realized I sat next to Rafael Nadal. I was just sitting next to him, I even turned the back, and I was like looking the other way, and we were talking, and we were so tired. And then like you can see people just stopping and pointing fingers and like, oh, I was like, what is this?
You thought they were pointing at you, right?
No. Like you're just thinking, what is going on?
Yeah.
I turned like 1 meter away from me. There is Rafael Nadal sitting, and the entire Spanish tennis team was eating there. I was like, oh, look at this. Good stuff.
Rafa always seems to be the one that people talk about. Multiple guests have said he was the one that was the most accessible just because of how he was with his teammates.
Djokovic was there in the village with us as well, and he's really down to earth guy, such a nice guy that like if there are 100 people that wants to take a picture with him, he will stop for 100 people and like be really nice to each and every one of them, have picture with everyone, make a joke, like make the situation really comfortable. So thumbs up for him as well.
That's awesome. Now you mentioned tournaments kind of being the same as far as competition in your career. You have appeared in many international tournaments. You've been world champion twice. So looking back on your career, in which of the events are you the most proud so far?
I'd say that it was like there are a couple of events.
Yeah.
But the most recent one that really made me really, really proud of myself was winning European Games in 2019. I think I was in the Serbian team. I was the only one who managed to defend the title. I won it in the first European Games we had in Baku in 2015. And then it was in Minsk in Belarus in 2019. And I was the only one who managed to defend the title. But the interesting thing, when you ask me about the achievements, every medal has some sort of a story behind. It's like if you say, what about that medal? I can tell you like a really good story about. But the story about this medal is that I had this injury 1.5 months prior to European Games. I had like severe rupture of my forearm muscle. Mm-hmm. And I had to skip for the first time ever in my life. I had to skip a competition. I had to skip a World Cup in Munich. That was like the last competition before European Games. And I had to make 3 weeks break. And basically I was 3 weeks without any proper training. And but I had so many shots. I like to say I had so many shots in my hand before that I used this time that was left to European Games to prepare as much as it was possible in that specific moment. And it wasn't a long period of time. It was actually a very short period of time, but the fact that I was so very well prepared before that gave me this opportunity to go out there to equal the European record with a Polish girl, and in final just to beat them and to reclaim the title, which was really a superb performance for me. I was not even aware that I can do that. I had really a lot of doubts, like what am I going to even do there, because I haven't been training for such a long time. And then I'm going out there, but my sister, she was like, okay, just calm down. Just let's take one step at a time. We have been training a lot and we can do this just one shot at a time. And it turned out to be really, really good tactics, and we won it.
That's terrific. That's terrific. And maybe it was that time off that kind of allowed your body to recover and that reset of the mind as well.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges? You shoot from 2 different distances in your career, 10 meters, 25 meters.
Yep.
What are some of the challenges that come with having to train for 2 separate events?
The only thing that's common for both is that there is a circle and there is a target.
And there's you. Yeah.
And there's me, yeah. But nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else is even similar. You know, there are two different distances, two different types of guns, two different recoils, calibers. Nothing is the same. You know, and for me, 25-meter event is more challenging because I think that for us specifically in Serbia, we don't have indoor range that we can use through the entire year. So basically we have to wait until the weather conditions are good enough so we can go outside and shoot, which is, let's say, from April to September. But in order to be good and in order to be ready to be in the final in each of the World Cups, you need to train more.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be challenging for me just to be better and to reach high level in 25 meters, because at the moment there are no conditions that allow me to train during the winter time.
Mhm.
But hopefully very soon there will be. So I'm looking forward to seeing the development of my career in the future.
What do
Why
you do
not?
in those situations then when it's winter and you don't have the opportunity to shoot? Do you travel somewhere else, or do you just
Yeah,
focus on a different
yeah,
part?
yeah. We have very good support by the Olympic Committee and Ministry of Sport. So we got some sort of funding that allows us to go to training camps abroad. For me, my personal favorite is Munich. I love going to Munich. You know, it has beautiful facilities. So somewhere in the wintertime, I squeeze in always at least one or two training camps that where I can do more 25 meters indoors. But when I am at home in Serbia, I focus more on 10 meters then. I use all the time that I have. And if there is some sort of possibility to use one object that has that indoor 25, which is not for for majority of people, then maybe if I get to shoot there, then I can squeeze in a training or two. But usually I prefer going to training camps where I can isolate myself and I can do only that.
Yeah.
2 weeks, I'm just fully into shooting and nothing else, because when you're home you need to go pay your bills,
Yeah.
cook some food, clean your apartment, make your bed,
Yeah.
run all kinds of errands, and you can be focused to shooting, but not as much as you can be when you're outside and
Yeah.
when you're in training camp.
Well, I'm glad you're talking about focusing on things, because that was going to be my next question, is that you already mentioned earlier about the physical aspects of shooting, especially for long times, practicing for hours on hours. So mentally, you got to be on point. You got to be focused. It might be harder mentally than it is physically.
Yeah, it is actually.
So how do you then make sure that you're in the right mindset for an event? Are there things that you do during the week to calm yourself and to help your focus? And then same question as far as on the day of the event, are there certain things that you do to kind of stay centered?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's I think that this is something that comes with time, with trainings. You learn what's good for you, what works for you. You learn maybe the routine that you need to just put yourself in that focus, and for me, I don't have anything specific that I do during the week, but I like to have my trainings at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when someone postpones my training, if it's maybe because, I don't know, there is some sort of something happened and I need to postpone my training. I hate it. I really honestly hate when that happens, or anything that disrupts my morning routine. I'm a really routine kind of person. I like my routine and I stick to it. And to be honest, I find that really calming and soothing. And sometimes, I can feel it in myself that when things are not really, when I'm not happy with how I'm doing something or the way things are going, I'm really always trying to get back to my routine. And for competition day, it's the same thing. I'm going to get you to details now.
Oh, perfect. I love it.
Okay, now we're going deep into details. We usually have competitions at 8:30 in the morning. So, which means that I'm waking up at 5 and taking a very, very long shower to wake up, just showering, washing my hair, doing everything I can as long as I can underwater, and then having very light breakfast, just putting my backpack on and straight to the range, warming up, doing my dry firing. My phone is off since yesterday, and just I like to have my sister next to me because then we can go through certain points that are going to be important during the competition. I can just go through some of the weak spots that I have, and just so I could be aware of them, and so I can remind myself what am I going to do if I get in trouble, like if I make like a bad situation for myself during the competition. And then we're going through some of the good things that I'm doing and that I should pay attention to as well. So basically we're going like we're having a walk through the entire match.
Yeah.
And just setting the tactics, like going through the tactics that is already prepared. And after that, straight to the firing line. She's putting the bib number on my back. Last conversation before the competition, and that's it. Then she stays behind the line. I'm going on the firing line, and then the guy up there knows what's gonna happen. He's the only one who knows.
Yeah. Oh, I love hearing that. I love hearing the details. Thank you for that. You mentioned that you're someone who stick to the schedules and your routine. Yep. So that being said, long day of practice or following an event, what's the routine when it comes to wine? I know you're a big wine connoisseur. So what's the routine you get home from a long day of practice?
Well, you know what? During the week, I really do not consume any wine, even though like there is nothing wrong with one glass of wine, but sometimes I just don't feel like I cannot enjoy it like completely. Okay. But then since Monday is my day off, usually I'm going to the country house. We have a country house, and my mom is there at the moment. So it's a beautiful house in the hills, and we are surrounded by forests and by nature, and there are like no cars, nothing.
Yeah.
So I usually go to my mom's place, and she makes lunch. So we have a glass of wine each that we cool down in our, how do you say? It's not a well. Yeah, it's a well. So we put down the bucket with wine.
Is it outside?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We put the bucket with wine bottles down. She lets it cool down for like 2 hours. We pull it up. We take a glass, each of us. And there is this one brand of wine that's absolutely my favorite. It's Zorana Arunovic. Absolutely. It's semi-sparkling, semi-sweet wine.
Okay.
Absolutely my favorite by far.
Okay. Is that always the go-to, the same brand, same style? That's your favorite?
Yes. Yeah. And I know, whenever we are going somewhere for a competition or something, is this one? Whenever we are going for a competition, and I know that I'm gonna see some of my friends, I always make sure that I bring like 2 or 3 bottles of that wine just so I can give them as a gift. We are connected, like wine lovers across the world are connected.
That we are. I'll put myself in that group too.
Oh, okay.
I gotta learn a lot more. But
okay. Okay.
Now the question I've been so excited to ask you. A year ago, almost a year to the day, I was in Alaska, in the United States, and in the middle of Alaska, in this small area, there was a Serbian restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And it was the best meal I had in all of 2019. It was so wonderful.
What did you eat?
They had crepes. I did not know that crepes were a big thing in Serbia, but they are. And it was so great that afterwards we took the chef out with us. We're like, hey, sit down, hang out with us. The chef and then we took him to get a drink at the next place. We just wanted to hang out and talk to him. And it was just amazing. Everything in there was like meat stuffed peppers, moussaka, a Becca schnitzel, a
Karađorđeva schnitzel. Yeah. It's very Karađorđeva schnitzel. It's very Serbian thing. It's very, very traditional Serbian thing. Okay. So if you would ask me, what would I recommend to a foreigner, when they come to Serbia, I could make you a full menu with
Well, that was going to be the question I was going to get to, because they had the crepes. They had the calzone crepe, which is a pepperoni, mozzarella, marinara. They had just meat ones with different ones, and they had all kinds of ones. They had veggie. They even had a strawberry cheesecake crepe as a dessert. It was so good. I was blown away how good it was, and so because of that, I put Belgrade at the top. I'm like, I have to visit Belgrade just to experience the food.
You have to.
So you have to. Aside from everything I said, for someone visiting Belgrade, what's the food and drink order that they have to try?
Okay, when it comes to drink, we are very well known by rakia.
Mm-hmm.
Rakia is it's brandy made of plum. So you can it's just a brandy. So you have šljivovica, which was made of plum. You have rakia made of apricot. You have rakia made of all kinds of fruit, but the most popular one in Serbia is the one made of plum. When I was a kid, my family used to make that rakia. It's like every older Serbian house was having its own production of rakia, and from that, let's say 10 years of age, I'm not consuming plums at all, because I'm so sick of the entire process. Because you need to collect like 2 or 3 acres of plums. You know, there is this person who is knocking the plums out of tree, and you're spending your entire day bent just picking them from the grass. It's the old style, and like now it's much upgraded, but still. I hate every second of it, because I spent my day just collecting. Like, I remember every September I would be like, I don't want to do this.
Plum collect, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the entire process is really beautiful from this point of view. With this age, it's really something special. So every older Serbian house had like its own production of rakia. So for the person who comes here, I would always say, you have to try this rakia.
Mm-hmm.
You have to try that. And you have to try Karađorđeva. You have to try cevapi. Cevapi is minced meat, like something, they look like a finger, but just very minced meat on a grill. Pljeskavica, which is a burger. You have to try ajvar, which is like minced paprika. Like you put paprika on the oven, then roast it, and then minced it. You have to try kajmak, which is like the milk spread. Extremely tasty. It's super fatty. It has a bunch of calories, but nothing that's tasty comes in low calorie.
Exactly.
Nothing tasty comes in low calorie version.
No.
So we both know that. So you have to try. And when it comes to, like, you can try all kinds of meat. We have gibanica as well, which is cheese pie made with cottage cow cheese. Absolutely outstanding. When it comes to desserts, there is baklava, which is Turkish as well. But we have history with Turkish, so it's like it kind of became part of our history as well. But pies with apples, with cherries, with raspberries, and of course crepes. If you would ask me where can you find the best ever crepes, I would say with my aunt, but she's making them for our family only, so I'm sorry.
I'll give you an advance notice. That way you know I'm coming. Okay, that way then,
maybe your aunt will. Then she can make some for you as well. But there is this place in Belgrade. It's called Milky Creperie. And Milky, you can find their Insta profile as well. They are making art out of pancakes. They're really making art. Oof, you can choose everything from the color of the dough for the crepes, through the taste of the dough, through the ingredients, the topping. You can have like Nutella injections from the side. Like,
Nutella everywhere on the Serbian
exactly.
process. I love it.
Yeah, let's say if we would talk about the spreads for Nutella, like what we add to that, the most common one would be apricot jam and ground nuts, walnuts. That's the combination. Like if you say, give me something that like you eat in Serbia, or Serbian crepe, it would be just jam and ground walnuts.
After that experience, I put Serbian food at the top. It is fantastic, and I definitely got to get to Belgrade. Hopefully, when things get traveling around, Belgrade's at the top of the list.
Let me know, and I will take you to Milky. I promise.
I am going to.
And you will get the wine. I promise.
Yeah, I'm going to hold you to that because it's going to happen.
Okay.
I'm going to go, and we'll go and I'll watch you shoot. We'll do a shooting session, and I'll watch you. I won't shoot. Well, I'll watch you, and then we'll go get some wine. It'll be perfect.
I will be delighted to show you.
I would be horrible. I'll just say that. I would be very garbage. But
doesn't matter.
We'll make it happen. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay.
How can you've been awesome. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I was really looking forward to it. How can people stay up to date with your career and follow along?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Zorana Arunovic or Zorana. How do you say?
Underscore.
Yeah, that one, Zorana Arunovic. And you can find me on Instagram by the same, my name and last name. And you can find me in Instagram as well.
Tokyo Olympics, is that on the radar? Is that something you're aiming for?
Yes. Wonderful. I have qualified for the Olympic Games in 2018 as the first person from Serbia that qualified. And I'm like, woohoo, I'm very happy. I was so happy about it. And now if they cancel it, I'm going to be like, oh, that's not how it was supposed to happen. But yeah, it's with this virus, the health definitely comes first. And if there is someone who says that it's better not to organize the Olympic Games, I would be like, okay, I understand. I'm going to be super sad because I'm really preparing so hard, and I prepared so hard for that. But if there is someone who is, of course, much smarter than me in this area who says that, no, this is not good for the global health, and I will be okay, no Olympic Games, and I'm okay with that.
Well, that's about a year from now. So hopefully positive thoughts. Hopefully you'll be representing Serbia a year from now. I'm excited for you to represent Serbia for another Olympics. And then you'll have more time. Maybe Rafa or whoever's there, you can get the pictures and you'll actually know who's sitting next to you. It'll be great. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was truly wonderful. I enjoyed every second of it. I was really looking forward to this conversation. So thanks so much. But thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Much appreciation to Zorana. I look forward to following her on her quest for the 2021 Olympics. And I hope I can get to Belgrade soon. For more information, check out her website, ZoranaArunovic.com. Smart and Solo, the blueprint for efficient and enjoyable solo travel is available on Amazon. Everyone has a story, each person a scholar. Thank you for listening. Fill up that passport. Wash your hands. I'll see you on the road. Ciao.